And that means it's time for us to start. And it's a little disjointed this week. We'll get into our regular Monday schedule. One of the cool things that we've been able to do for the last few years, because the coaches in the state of Mississippi have been willing to do it, is visit with the head coaches at Southern Miss, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss on Mondays during the season. Chris Lemonis joins us on this first Monday after a weekend series. And I just say to start, Coach, we really appreciate you doing this each week. It's fun for us. I think fans enjoy hearing from you as well. So thanks for making us part of your Mondays.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. This gets across our entire state, so it's good to get out to all our fans and let them hear about the program.
So welcome back to baseball season, a series win, and I'd love to start with, we were watching it on the live stream while we were on the air on Friday afternoon. Record opening day crowd, over 11,000 at the ballpark. How cool is it to, new season starts, weather cooperates, and you walk out and you look at that, it's like, holy cow, they're everywhere.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. For my new guys, it's probably a little nervous. They you walk out there and the whole place changes overnight, but it's a lot of fun. It's why you come to play here. And I thought the guys came out and played great. Our administration, having Air Force in town and the flyovers and the military appreciation, it just made for a really cool weekend. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Big picture thoughts on the weekend. You win game one, you lose game two, and then you come back and win game three in pretty dominating fashion. Just your thoughts, big picture, on the opening weekend.
Well, I'm pleased. You win the weekend against a team that's got a chance to be in a regional, but you're also disappointed because, not just the end of the game on Saturday, but we just didn't play good. I mean, we got a phenomenal start, and that was the positive of Saturday from Cal Steven, and he's been doing that to our hitters. He's been really good, but we just had some base running blunders, and we're facing a guy who's probably under bat speed all day, which is sometimes tougher. But we just ran ourselves out of some innings, finally get the lead, and then we give it up in the ninth. So that's the down part of the weekend. But man, there's so many positives. The kids responded on Sunday, came out. Durangelo pitched great, and I thought we got our offense going, and got to see some new arms get out there and get their feet wet.
Coach, the stat that stood out to me the most was the walks this weekend. Only 9 walks in 3 games. You go back a season ago in the loss to VMI on Saturday, you walked 12 guys just in that one game alone. How good did it feel to see what I know you've been seeing in practice translate to those games?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, Coach Parker's done a great job with those guys, and they're really bought in right now, and they're confident. They're pitching good. They're feeling good. And they're going out there, and you got to beat us. You got to beat one of those guys. You got to get a couple hits in a row because they're coming at you, and they're taking a lot of pride in it. A little bit on Sunday, we had all those new guys out there. We had, they were kind of trying to find the strike zone. They were still having success, and he's all over them, which I love. Just the standard set, and you got to meet the standards, which was a lot of fun to see on Sunday.
Chris, what do you expect the identity to be of this year's team?
I don't know yet. We spoke about that this morning. I don't know if it's, I felt like we have some veteran guys, but we have a lot of new guys, and I think you grow into that, and that's part of this preseason as we build up the SEC play is we got to figure out who we are. I think we're a pretty blended team. I think, we got a chance to pitch and have some depth there, play good defense, and we can do some different things to you offensively, but, who are the personalities? Who are the guys? I mean, obviously DJ's a big personality, but who are the other guys that we're going to get out there and mold together as a really good offensive group? And we got a couple of guys out for a couple of days here. I don't think very long, but we had at times 3 starters out this weekend. In our offensive lineup. So hopefully we're starting to get some of those guys back.
Coach, I thought on Saturday Kyle Steven gave you as impressive a pitching performance as we've seen in the past couple of years. Coming from the transfer portal, coming from Purdue, you never know what you're going to get until you could put those guys out there. Is that what you expected to see from him, or was he even maybe a little bit better than you thought he'd be?
He was a little bit better. It was, the portal is a crapshoot in a lot of ways. I mean, it's very good. You can get some guys. What we got with Cal is he's talented, but he is really tough and hardworking. And when you get those guys that come to a place like ours with all the resources we have and Coach Parker, they've he's gotten better since he got here in September. And I think that's something you're seeing. But we only see him in 2 or 3 innings spurts in the fall and the spring, and you look up and it's 7 innings and he's throwing harder than he did all day, and he's got more ego and attitude out there in the 7th than he did in the first. I mean, it was just really impressive to watch him, and hopefully he can just keep stacking those weeks on top of each other.
You mentioned a couple of guys that may be out just for a little bit of time. We saw on Friday, I guess it was Kohler at third base, kind of trying to reach back and make that tag, and ended up having to come out of the game. He had a hit and had driven in a run. Is that anything that is serious, or do you think you get him back in relatively short order?
I think we'll have him back hopefully, knock on wood, we'll have him back in short time. He's already moving around, starting to swing a bat, do some stuff. So I don't think it's. I'm knock on wood. Hopefully it's nothing major. He made a great play in the first inning to save a run too. So but he's an older kid. He's just mature and just he's been out there before. So we need him back. Hopefully we'll have him back here. I'm hoping by the weekend.
So midweek game against Austin Peay, a couple of them, and then you get Georgia Southern coming in this weekend. This time of year where it's weekend series and either 1 or 2 midweek games, you just kind of roll it through over the next 2 or 3 weeks. What are you trying to accomplish? What do you need to see? What do you want to see beyond winning games?
Yeah, your offense get rolling. Like being able to be able to steal bases, to be able to run the bases better after this past weekend. We'll spend a lot of time there, but also it's a lot of pitching roles and figuring out who's what. And whose stuff really translates to the mound during the game. I think that's a big piece. We still have some guys that didn't pitch this weekend, and so trying to get some guys back in there and build that staff so it's ready to handle those SEC weekends. I think that's the biggest piece for us is piecing together all those things.
Coach, you got 2 games in the midweek. You announced just a few minutes ago Evan Sierra will go for you on Tuesday, and then Old Reliable TBD on Wednesday. He'll pile up a lot of innings for you this year, I'm sure. I assume, though, it's going to be a whole staff kind of approach, and you'll try to see as many guys as you can in these 2 games?
Yeah, all this, Austin Peay brings back like 6 hit. Like it seems like the first couple teams we're playing bring back a lot of hitters. I think Georgia Southern's probably a little more pitching than hitting, but Austin Peay, they had a real offensive weekend, some older hitters in that lineup. So, and with Coach Parker, he really made sense this morning. He wants to see him before he announces another guy. So, we see him on computer, but he spends a lot of time watching during BP and trying to figure them out. So, we'll have a little bit better idea. But we're trying to, you don't want to go too far with anybody, so you have them for the weekend. So, but you're trying to, like right now they don't matter in terms of, you got to win. They're all non-conference, so win the first one, and then worry about the second one, and then kind of go from there. And then when we get to the weekend, the same thing. So you're just trying to win every game you can.
Chris, 12 in a row at home to start the year. You don't leave the state of Mississippi. You got the game in Pearl, a couple of games on the coast before you jump into league play, and then that first SEC series is a true road series where you go to Baton Rouge. What were you trying to accomplish with the way that you built this schedule? And obviously you built the schedule, but is it the way to do it where you play everything at home and don't go on the road a lot before it starts?
Well,
Hayden's shaking his head. I may have asked a bad question.
No. It came down to a decision.
LSU is here is the only thing.
Yeah, that's right. And the decision is either we have to take away our Biloxi and some of our Pearl, or because we're traveling too much in the past years because we're doing a weekend on the road, and we're going on the road more than anybody else in our league the last couple of years. So, we kind of figure the Pearls and the Biloxis because, we get out of here, we're gone for about 3 days and we go to Biloxi. That's a real road trip for us. We're spending the night, we're down there, and they're too valuable for us. I'd rather play down there in front of our fans and hey, some years we'll travel and move around, but when you start adding those 4 games in the pro parks in our state, and then you add a weekend, and it gets to be, you start climbing up there and you're looking up and you're playing 2 or 3 more road games than SEC schools in some places. So that was kind of the thought process, and I felt like this team needed to get going. And, the thing about our place is nowhere we go is bigger. like in terms of, so you're learning to play in a big ballpark. You're learning, yes, obviously the fans are on your side, but but you go to some places, it's they get used to playing in a big atmospheres every day here. So that was the mindset. We'll go to some tournaments in time, and may have to pull some of the other stuff back, but that's, like I said, the fan support we get across our state it means a lot.
Chris Lemonis, head baseball coach at